Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. And I recently made this card using the Dotted Circles 3D embossing folder. My sentiment comes from Simply Said, and I have added a couple of dies from Unbounded Love that I used for the sentiment, as well as a couple of extra ones just to add in there for a little bit extra detail. And I've just got a white layer in there, nice and plain. So my colours on this one were Melon Mambo and Daffodil Delight. I kind of thought that this Dotted Circles embossing folder, which is huge by the way, it is 6 inches by 8.5 inches. So great if you want to do bigger cards, if you want to do a 6 by 6, or if you wanted to do a 5 by 7 or whatever. So yeah, so I kind of thought that that pattern kind of reminded me a little bit of tie-dye. Other people that I've showed this card to thought it was a bit more kind of, I think Indian was one anyway. So I thought I would just make another one and we'll see how that one goes as well. So it's quite nice, quick and easy card. I've already cut my pieces here, and I am going to be using this time Orchid Oasis and Sweet Sorbet that are in colours that are retiring very, very soon. So if you don't already have them, get them while you can if they're still available. So I'm going to put the Sweet Sorbet, if I can open this, there we go. I'm going to put the ink on this side that has the Stampin' Up logo on it. Okay, so both sides have a bit of texture to them because some bits are up and some bits are down. But the one with the logo there, I'm gonna just, well, I was gonna swipe it, but it's maybe a little juicy for that. And it doesn't matter if you've missed bits, because it's not going to give you a full pattern anyway. I'm just giving myself lots of options here on where I want to put my basic white card. Now, to add the other colour, I simply added some ink to a clear block, and I'm not bothered that I've gone on that side. If I put my card in there, it means that there will be ink on both sides, but that's fine. No one's going to see that. Added some water with a Stampin' Spritz. Better if you actually put it where you want it. And then just simply dropped that ink around and about, larger bits, smaller bits, like so. I'm happy. Try not to get ink on me. There we go. And then I'm just going to take a cloth and put that to the side. And in fact, I will just take that off there too. Right, so then deciding, so you'll see some of the ink has actually gone into the little dots on here. With this one, I tried to put, in fact, I used a bigger piece of card than I actually needed, and I wanted to try and get that small circle in the middle and then going out. This time, I don't want to do that actually. I want to go to the side. So I'm going to choose this side, like that. I'm going to pop that over. Then we need to run it through my cut and emboss machine. So this is a 3D embossing folder. So I've just got platform number 1 there, then my embossing folder. Doesn't matter which way around you do it, but I'm doing it this way because it's messy. And then this special plate number 4 is going to go on the top, and let's just wind that through. Okay, now I'm not going to put my machine away, oops, quite yet, because I want to do some die cutting, but that's the last I will need of that one. And then let's take this out with tweezers and see how we go. Oh, wow, that's pretty striking. I hope you'll agree. Now it will be a little bit wet, so I'm going to put this to the side, way out of the way of anything that I don't want ink on. And to clean that, I will simply run it under a tap. So, as you can see, most of the raised bits are still white, apart from the ones where the ink ran into the little divots in the embossing folder. So it's not too wet, but I will, like there's a little bit there that is very wet, I will blast that with my cut and emboss. With my cut and emboss? No, I'm going to blast it with my heat gun. I'm just thinking ahead of myself here. Right, so I want to, that's going to go on my Orchid Oasis card base. So I think I want to stamp with Orchid Oasis as well. And I haven't got a stamp out yet. I'm going to stick with that. No, I'm going to change it. I'm going to go hello. Yeah, hello. Pop that on there. I've got a full pack of grid mat there, so I don't need my Stampin' Pierce mat. Oh, beautiful. Okay, and then let's choose some dies to do the die cutting on this. Oops, I've got bits cut out already in there. So I think that's the one I used for my sentiment previously. I think. Let's just have a look at it. No, it was this one. It was the bigger one. Alright, so this one just cuts a frame, and this one actually cuts out with the stitched details around it. Not quite used to these dies yet. There's so many in the pack that it's difficult to know what does what first off until you play around with them, which is why I've got lots of die cuts in my packet. So I think I'm going to go with a, if we had a circle there and maybe had that on there. Let's do that. Let's just do it. So let me grab my scraps of Sweet Sorbet and Orchid Oasis. And now I need the base platform. I need platform number 2 for cutting. I've got a not so clear plate, because it's very well used. That's going to go on there. we'll do one of them and one of them. I need another clear plate. And just pop that on top there. And roll that through as well. Now I am finished with my cut and emboss. So I'll take these all off and I'll just pop this over to the side. And has this dried off any? Nope, that's still pretty wet in that corner, so I'm just going to give that a quick blast. Although it still looks dark, it's not as wet. You should be okay to go ahead with that. Let me just get all of these other bits and pieces. Now, when I did this one, I kind of thought there was an awful lot of white space on there. There's even more white space on there. So I'm going to add a little bit more ink. This time I'm just going to use my Stampin' Blends and just, again, same colours, just get a little bit in there and it just gives it much finer splatter. Add a little bit of ink in there. Oh, I love it. Love it. There we go. Right, so let's just put this card together. That is just a plain insert that's going to go inside of there. And then that's going to go on the front. Okay, so a little bit of gluing. Yep, that is actually dry, even although it doesn't look like it. So, I'm going to put glue on as much of the surface of this as I can without using half a bottle or going too close to the edge that it might squidge out. But because there's so much texture on it, I kind of want it to lie as flat as it can, so I'm just using that spreader to put a thin layer on lots of the bits. And then decide if I want it to be at that side or that side. I think I want it to be at that side actually. So let's just pop that on there. Try and get it as straight as you can, Heather. And then you're probably better rubbing from the other side. Okay, so I can still, yeah, I'm going to go that way. Yeah. And then this, as I said, is just going to go on the inside. So, white glue gives you time to squidge that around and try and get it even. Yeah, okay. Right, so I'm going to get myself some dimensionals. one didn't come. Come on. There we are. And that is going to go on there. I'm going to put under or over. I think it might go over. So we need a couple of dimensionals there. Yep. Make sure I've got the stitching the right way. And I can put a little bit of glue on there, just to hold it. That one on there like that. And I think maybe a mini dimensional on the top of this, and some glue on the bottom of it. Backing off. And that can go on there like so. Righty ho, and on this one I added some glossy dots, and I need some of these in colour pearls. Again, don't actually know if these are still available or not, but as you see, I've got quite a lot left, so I'm just going to use them. This is when I become the most indecisive person in the world. Where to put the gems. So normally I go with 3. I've got plenty of these left. So I'm going to add another one there. And I'm going to go with that one there. So we've got a nice little scattering of the gems around. So what do you think? I think I'm loving this embossing folder, and I think the white certainly pops more on this one. Loving all these little dies as well, and that Simply Said stamp set too. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please do click on that subscribe button, click the bell and get a notification the next time I upload a tutorial. Until then, please do take care. Bye bye.